The third lesson is polar and rectangular forms of equations. Here we will be learning to convert between polar and rectangular, whether it be coordinates or equations. Let's jump into the learning objectives. Here we will learn to convert between polar and rectangular coordinates and to convert between polar and rectangular equations. Now, the keywords in this lesson are polar coordinates, complex numbers, and polar equations. You've already come across these words, and you will be more thorough as we go through the lesson. The first topic, let's directly jump into the topic now, is to convert polar to rectangular coordinates. Now, you must recall few of the things which we have already learned before in the previous terms and the previous grades, that is, basic trigonometry. We had learned basic trigonometry. Wherever there is a right angle triangle, we can find angle theta using trigonometry. Now, before we apply trigonometry, let's see over here. This is the point P. In coordinates, a polar coordinate system, r and theta will be given. How do we find x and y? How can we relate them? If we draw a straight line like this is the x and this is y. It's vertical line, horizontal line. There's a 90-degree form. What is sine and cos? Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent line to cos is x divided by hypotenuse is r. Whereas sine theta, on the other hand, would be opposite, that is y divided by hypotenuse r. Take the r to the other side, you're going to get r cos theta, that is x value. And what about y? It'll be r sine theta, that'll be y. So these are the formulas which you'll be using. X is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sine theta. If you use this, you can easily get the x and y coordinates. We will see a problem, you'll understand how easy and simple it is. Here we have rectangular coordinates for each point with given polar coordinates 4, pi by 6. What do we do? How do we solve? First, let's analyze the given. And the r, the radius or the distance is 4. What about the angle? That is pi by 6. Pi is 180 divided by 6 will give you 30 degrees. So to convert, it's just put pi as 180 and convert it. Now you got 30 degrees. Again, please note, the reason why I convert everything to degrees is it's much easier to solve in degrees. It's much easier for you to understand and analyze. Say you want to draw a diagram. It's much easier for you to draw a diagram at 30 degrees now, and this radius to be 4. Okay, rather than radians. Even radians can be solved in calculator by changing the mode to radians, but I would highly recommend you to avoid it. Use the degree itself, because if you change to radian mode, then you need to come back to the normal mode. It will be a confusion. So that is why what I would suggest is please convert to degrees and you can use your default mode of your calculator. You do not need to change anything in the calculator. Okay. So now then, your r and theta, coming back to the problem, just use the formulas. X is r cos theta, y is r sine theta. Substitute and solve. Let me just do this. Here r is 4, cos theta is 30, that is 2 root 3, that is about 3.5. Usually the answers will be if it's MCQ, if you have 4 options, your option will be in terms of 2 root 3 generally. But you can just press this and find what is the exact unit. It is 3.46. For sine, it is 2. So the answer is 2 root 3 and 2. So this is the thing. The rectangular coordinates is 2 root 3. That is x, comma y. Y is 2. No need of the diagram. This is just for your understanding. It's up to you. So this is how we can do it. It's very easy, very straightforward. Now there is a check problem. I would highly encourage all of you to pause the video now. We just now saw how easy it is. The formulas are x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sine theta. Apply it and solve it. I hope you tried by pausing the video. At least you have tried or wrote something. But anyways, now we'll do it together. So here the only thing is it's minus pi by 3. So what do you get? Theta is, okay, theta is, okay, I'll tell you what happened over here. Minus pi by 3. What is the angle? Sorry, I forgot to re-edit this. Anyways, I will just do this. Minus pi, that is shift, and over sorry, it's not shift, it's 180 divided by 3. The answer is minus 60. So the answer is minus 60, but generally in the textbooks or some places you might find they won't write this minus 60. Why? Because in the coordinate, minus 60 is just going in the opposite direction, isn't it? So what is the coterminal angle? What is the other way to get minus 60? It is positive 300. So what happens is you just add 360 to this, you will get the coterminal, that is 300. Okay, but you can use both. We will solve using both, either minus 60 or 300 will give you the same answer. R is cos theta, sorry, x is equal to r cos theta. Now let's use both of this and see the answers. It is 4 cos, let's try with minus 60 first. Minus 60, what is the answer? 2. Now let me change this to 300 and you can see the answer will remain same. Why? Because 300 and minus 60 is the same angle, same point you're reaching, right? So that is the reason. Okay, and we can see over here as well. Let's just change this to sine. It's minus 2 root 3 and let me make it to cos now, and it's, sorry, it's not cos, it is sine. And now let me change the angle to minus 60. This is the thing, it's the same angle you'll find. You can confirm it with your calculator. So this is the answers. The coordinates are 2 comma y is minus 2 root 3. So this is the figure, but the figure is not required. It's only these points that will be required. We saw how to convert polar coordinates to rectangular coordinates in the previous video. Now we will do the other way around. From rectangular, that is x and y values, we will come to polar. Now, let's look over here. The same figure, but we will be given with x and y and you need to get r and theta. So this is what we require. Again, we will have to use basic trigonometry, and knowing that this is a over here, sorry, this is a right angle, we can use the Pythagoras theorem. So what does the Pythagoras theorem say? Hypotenuse, that is the square of the hypotenuse, r square, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. That is, square the one side plus the other side, you will get the answer. You do not want r squared, you need just r. So square root on both the sides will give you r. This cancels. So r equals square root x squared plus y squared. This is fine. What about theta now? How do we connect theta and the opposite and adjacent side? You must remember it is tan theta that gives you opposite, that is y divided by adjacent x. But you don't want tan theta, you just want the theta value. So take tan to the other side, it becomes tan inverse. Okay, tan inverse, or it's not taking to the other side, it's basically multiplying tan inverse on both the sides. Over here it will be cancelled and over here it will remain. So it's tan inverse y by x. So what is the answer? It is theta equals to tan inverse y by x. But there is a condition in this case. So whenever we have negative x values, so if it is greater than x, greater than 0 x values, that is positive, say it's 0 0.5, 1, 2, and so on, you have to just use this formula, tan inverse y by x. But what if it is negative value, x is less than 0, it's like this, minus 1, minus 2, or so on, then you need to use tan inverse y by x plus 180 degrees, okay? Or pi means 180 degrees. So this is the thing. This is very important. Now let's see a few problems. If you remember this formula, these two formula, but remember theta has two formulas based on the x value. It is very, very simple. Now over here, we have find two pairs of polar coordinates dimension to over here for each point with given rectangular coordinates. The coordinates, rectangular coordinates are x value of 1 and y value of minus root 3. What do you do now? All you need to do is write the given x is equal to 1, y is equal to minus root 3. Then see the x value. X value is positive, so it's fine. Use the simple formulas. It is r is root of x square plus y square and theta is tan inverse y by x. All you need to do is substitute over here and solve. So look over here, x is greater than 0, so it's just this much. Don't add 180. Now let's solve it over here. So it is square root x square value is 1 square plus, whenever you have negative, please use the brackets. It will be much easier and you'll get the correct answer. So you close the bracket, square it. The answer is 2. Okay, our radius value or the distance is 2. What about the theta angle? It is tan inverse shift and tan minus root 3 divided by, sorry, this is root 3 divided by 1, close the bracket. The answer is minus 60 degrees. So now they are mentioned two pairs, so you can use minus 60 and you can find the coterminal as well. So it depends on the option, how much coordinates they have given. So one thing is, just find one of the angle. This is more than enough. You found 2, radius is 2, minus 60. It's more than enough. This is a correct answer. And then, multiple representation of this polar coordinates, isn't it? You can represent this in 3 other different ways. You can find the coterminal angle over here. You can use negative and add a 180 and subtract 180. So you can write any of the answers. So it depends on the options, or if you're writing exam, just write 2. It's more than enough. So over here in this case, they have given two angles. Why? Because minus 60 is one of the correct angle. 2 is the radius. How do you find this? Add 360, you will get the answer. That is the coterminal angle of 300. A coterminal angle of minus 60 degrees. So in terms of pi, you can write, in terms of radians, you can write it like this. I'll show you how to convert degree to radian. We know radian to degree is very simple. Wherever there is pi, put 180 degree. I'll show this. For example, minus, instead of pi, I put 180 divided by 3. You'll get the answer. We have done this many times before. But what about the other way around? It's again very simple. Whatever degree you have, just divided by 180. That's it. Now you will get 1 minus 1 by 3. But just remember, in the numerator, you have to add pi. So it is minus pi by 3. Let's even do for the 300. So all you need to do is 300 divided by 180. Now it is 5 by 3, but remember to add pi over here in the numerator. It is 5 pi by 3. So in the polar coordinates, you can write 2 comma minus 60 in degrees or minus pi by 3. Here 2 comma 300 or pi by 3. It's up to you. So this is the answer. Similarly, we will do one more problem. Over here, there's a figure to, this is optional, but there's one more answer question for you. I would encourage you to pause the video now, try it by yourself. Please note, x is negative, so it changes. So please do try it by yourself. I hope you paused the video and at least tried it a bit. Now we will solve it together. Here we need to analyze this given it is x is minus 3, y is 6. Now substitute the formula and solve. Over here r equals root of x square plus y square. X and y are given. Substitute, same thing over here, tan inverse y by x. Remember, y is first, top 6 by minus 3. This pi is very, very important because it's a negative x value. Sorry. Okay, now we will just solve this. So square root of, use the bracket, minus 3 the whole square plus 6 square equals 3 root 5. And over here you need to use shift and tan inverse. So 6 divided by minus 3. It's not over. If you press equal to, this is not the correct answer. You need to plus 180 degree. Why? Because pi is 180 degrees. You're getting 116. Now look over here. Why I'm not adding directly pi? Because your default mode of the calculator is in degrees. So always use degrees. So don't need to change the mode and everything because you can always convert to degrees. Just stick to degrees. Okay. So the answer is 116 degrees and R is 3 root 5. Now you can convert this to radians. We just now saw all you need to do is divide it by 180, and then you can convert one, the it is approximated 0.647 is 65 pi. So this is the thing. Now sometimes what happens is in your textbook you may have noticed, instead of pi they multiply it. See, now instead of writing it like this, they multiply it and do this. 2.05 would be 2.04 is the answer. Theta is 2.04 radian. It's up to you. These are just conversions. I've written all this just for you to understand. You can use this or use this. All the 3 degrees are correct because all the 3 degrees mean the same thing, but the most important thing is it depends on your options. If this is coming for MCQ in the online exam, you will have 4 options. See the correct option. Now over here, this is very important and crucial. You've got one polar coordinate, 3 root 5 comma 116.56 degrees. Now I would want you to find the other three. Try this by yourself. It's not compulsory, but just try to find it. See, the first one, I'll anyways tell it over here now. The first one over here is very easy. The same R, but only thing is find the co-terminal. So subtract 360, you will find another degree. So 116 is somewhere over here. Now this is 116 degrees. If you go in the other side, it'll be minus 200 and something. So this is one way. The other way would be, instead of going to this, go to this angle over here and use minus radius, minus r. So you will come to the same point. This is called multiple representation. We have studied multiple representation in the lesson 1. So I would kindly ask you to go back to the lesson 1, video 3, I believe, which discusses multiple representation of polar coordinates. It is very important. Why? It's easy to find one radius and one theta, okay, from the calculator. It may be difficult to find the other values directly, so use the multiple representation information, whatever was done before, and then easily solve it up. So that is the thing. This is the answer. You can use the multiple representation over here and solve it. And now quickly let us recall both of these. See, over here they have given convert to polar coordinate, and over here from rectangular to polar. I won't do this, but I'll just show you how to be done. So if you want to find the over here, the rectangular coordinates from the polar, all you need to use is this formula. X is equal to r cos theta, y is r sine theta. Substitute what is x, what is r, phi, and theta is 295. Same way r and theta in sine. Solve, you will get the rectangular coordinates. X is 2.11, y is minus 4.53. Same thing with polar coordinates. Use the formulas which you just now saw. X is greater than 0, so use this theta formula. Substitute over here. X is 3, y is r, and tan inverse of 7 by 3. Put it in the calculator. Class. This is it. So this is how you can easily convert rectangular to polar, sorry, polar to rectangular or rectangular to polar. Okay, this gives both the formulas. We just remember these 4 formulas and you can convert to anything. Until the last video in this lesson, we were converting coordinates. We converted polar to rectangular coordinates, rectangular to polar coordinates. Now over here, they are asking us to convert equations. See, rectangular equation to polar equation. Now, what does equation exactly mean? Anything that is having a equal to over here, you can see this equal to means equation. Whenever you equate something, theta equals 30 degrees, this is also an equation. Over here, In coordinates, you just have r and theta. There is no equal to. When you equate those both, you get an equation. Okay. So now over here, they have asked us to identify the graph of each rectangular equation. Looking at this, we need to identify and then write the equation in polar form. Support your answer by graphing the polar equation. This is plenty things to be done, but now let's do one by one. Looking at this graph, first of all, you must know this is a circular graph. Why? Because the standard form of circle is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Now you can write this is in terms of x squared, y squared, and 4 squared. So now you can easily tell, sorry for that. Now you can easily tell this is a circular graph, circle. Anyways, you'll see that at the end. How do we convert it? You have been given this equation. Now let's recall the conversion formulas which we used in the previous videos. Now the given equation is of circle, okay, but what do we convert? X is r cos theta, y is r sin theta. Let's substitute this. Over here, instead of x, put r cos theta. Instead of y, put r sin theta and substitute it and simplify it, sorry. Now over here, you can see this. This is a term, r cos theta, single term. Wherever multiplication is there, it's a single. Minus, there is one more term, that's 4. This is in terms of a minus b the whole square. So the formula for a minus b the whole square is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Please don't forget this. If this was plus a plus b the whole square, this would be plus over here, the middle part. So now over here it's minus, so let us square this. R square cos square theta, the first term, r square cos square theta, minus 2 times AB. The A term is r cos theta, B is 4. So let's all multiply all the numbers. 2 into 4, that is 8, r cos theta. Plus B square is 16, 4 square is 16. Now over here, just square them up. Plus r square sine square theta equals 16. Now how do we simplify? So over here, you can take common terms out. So what do we do is, before taking common terms, let's keep r square and this over here together. See, you can see this r square and r square. Why? Because we can take the r square common out, isn't it? Then everything else to the other side. Okay, everything else. This goes to the other side. It becomes plus r8r cos theta. Here, this becomes minus 16. So now this 16 cancels. You're remaining with r8r cos theta. But what about over here? Now you must remember sine square theta plus cos square theta equals 1, which we studied in the previous terms in trigonometry. This is very important Pythagorean identity. It's sine square theta plus cos square theta equals 1, or cos square theta plus sine square theta is equal to 1. So that is what we will do. Remove r square common over here. What is remaining? Cos square theta plus sine square theta. This is equal to 1. And over here, what happens? 16 cancels. You're remaining with this much. So over here, now, what happened is, you have to simplify this to 1. Can you see this? This is into 1. So it's gone. Only r square remains. But you're dividing both the sides by r. So you're simplifying it further. And what remains? R equals 8 cos theta. So this is final polar equation. You can't simplify it further. Once you get r and you get cos theta and any r over here, anything is fine, coefficients, it's done. So you need to simplify from here after you substitute till you get a simplified form. So this is the simplified polar equation. If this is the rectangular equation, and this the same thing can be written in polar in such. Now the graph over here shows it's a circle. We have already studied whenever you have r, any coefficient, cos theta, it's a circle. Even if it was sine theta, it would be circle. But only thing is, cos will be along the x-axis, and since it is positive 8, it's at the right side. If it was minus 8 over here, it would be like this, my left side. Or if it was positive sign, it would be upwards, minus sign would be downwards. So this is a circle graph. Similarly, let's do one more problem. Here the same question, but we have been given y equals x square. Looking at this, you know this is a parabola. X square is a parabola. So this is the graph. You can easily tell it. How do we convert it? Same thing, just like what we have done before. Now over here there is only there is y over here and x square, nothing other than x and y. So directly substitute the formulas. Here y is r sine theta, x is r cos theta. Square the right side, you'll get r square cos squared theta. So now you can cancel this r, divide both the sides by r, this cancels. Over here it will be r, only r will remain, okay? Or you can bring this r to the other side, it will be the same thing, only one r remains, this cancels. Now cos squared means it's cos into cos. So take it to the other side. It will be sine divided by cos theta into cos theta equals r. But we know sine by cos is tan and 1 by cos is secant. So simplify them. It's just getting, this is also the correct answer, but we are trying to simplify as much as possible. Now when we simplify, we get tan theta into secant theta equals r. Now this is the graph. Now this is the polar form of this particular rectangular equation. So now we have learned to convert rectangular to polar equations. Again, I will just recall one important thing, that is the formula. X equals r cos theta and y equals r sin theta. Whenever you have been given a rectangular equation, it will be in terms of x and y. Substitute these formulas and then simplify. You will get the answer. The last topic in lesson 3 is to convert polar equations to rectangular equations. Here we have got theta equals pi by 6. This is a polar equation. As I told you in the previous video, whenever you have equal to, and just so simple as theta equals pi by 6, that's it, that's an equation. Now, if you recall the formula, you know tan theta equals y by x. There is no other formula, isn't it? Which will convert theta to theta with the polar rectangular coordinates. So what you need to do is multiply tan on both the sides, then we can solve this up. Since r is not given over here, you should just focus on theta. That is, take tan on both the sides. What happens? It'll be theta equals pi by 6. So tan theta equals tan pi by 6. Now what next? Put this in calculator. Instead of pi by 6, you can use 30 degrees. You can try this. 180 by 6 is 30. So tan 30 will be root 3 by 3. And over here, tan theta is y by x. This is it. Now, here, always remember, don't keep y and x at one side. The rectangular equation generally will be in terms of y is equal to something x. So all you need to do is take this x to the other side. Y equals root 3 by 3x. This is the answer. Now looking at this, this is a linear function, but even look at the given question. Which type of a graph is this? They have told theta is, this is basically 30 degrees. Okay, so it's basically a line. It's a linear function. So if you graph this now, you will get a line. Okay, pi by 6, 30 degrees. That's it, a straight line. Now, why do we extend this even to the other side, 7 pi by 6? Now, we do not know the r. It's not given. So what if r is negative values? If it's positive 1, 2, 3, it's this line. Sorry, it's this one over here. Now, we extend it backside because the r can be, radius can be even negative. So we go in the opposite direction. That's it. Now, similarly, we have r equals to 7 in this problem. I'll tell you the formula. It is r equals root of x square plus y square. Pause this video. I encourage you all to pause this video and try to solve it by yourself. If you have watched the starting of this video, you'll know how to convert it. Same way but a different formula. Try it by yourself. I hope you at least tried a little bit. Now we will solve it together. Over here, we have to use this formula. We have learned r equals square root of x square plus y square. Now square on both the sides here and over here, the square root and square cancels, you will get this. Okay, r square is x squared plus y squared. Now all you need to do is square here on both the sides for the given equation. Square on both the sides, you'll get r square equals r 7 square. So substitute over here, x square plus y square equals 49. Now this is a circular equation, right? X square plus y square, it's enough. You can take this to the other side and do it, or you can just leave it. Why? Because we know the standard, this is x square plus y squared equals r squared is the standard form for the circle. Now, this standard equation for the circle. Over here, you can see r is 7. That means what? Wherever radius is 7, that means it's a circle. Directly from this equation, you can understand, or you can convert to rectangular form and you'll get the same graph. So this is it in this lesson. That's the end of the lesson 3. If you have any doubts, please do write them in the chat, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And wish you all happy learning.